Hi for Connect, and this is week 4's Monday reading, our comprehension passage on Captain James Cook. And I'm going to read the text for the Appendix and Bunyips reading groups first and answer through those. And you'll see on the next video will be the other reading groups. So let's read this through together and we'll underline important bits. James Cook was born in Marton in Cleveland, England on the 27th of October 1728. His father was a farm worker. At the age of 18, he became a merchant sailor. He soon changed to the Navy and began a successful career or job. Merchant means he's trading. So let's underline important things like we could highlight England and 27th of October 1728. We could also say, we could highlight merchant sailor at 18, that would be his early life, and he was in the Navy. Now this is important about his first voyage. In 1768, Cook became the commander or leader of a voyage to the Pacific Ocean, where all the island areas are. So let's underline that, and he was the commander. Cook's ship was called the Endeavour. It's a famous ship. His first job was to sail to Tahiti and observe or see the planet Venus pass in front of the sun. And that was special because remember they didn't have satellites and special telescopes. They would travel around the world to learn more about space by looking at the planets and the stars and things. He was also given an envelope with secret instructions. The instructions told him to find New Holland. Let's underline that, Australia. That was the name they first gave it. Remember the Dutch had sailed past there, and the Dutch were from Holland. Also on board were astronomer Charles Green and botanist Joseph Banks. After Tahiti, Cook first visited New Zealand, then New Holland. So we also went to New Zealand after Tahiti. So we might underline that. We could also underline the important people, Charles Green and Joseph Banks. Okay, Cook arrives in Australia. He first stopped at Botany Bay. Oh, I've lost my highlighter. There it is. Joseph Banks. He first stopped at Botany Bay, that's an important spot, where Sydney is today, the airport, where he studied the animals, plants and local people. He then sailed up the coast. Unfortunately, while he was travelling near the Great Barrier Reef, his ship was damaged by the coral reef. Once his ship was repaired, he sailed to Cape York, that's the top of Australia, of Queensland. At Cape York, he claimed New Holland to be part of the British Empire. So he actually named this country for England or Britain. Cook and his crew returned to England in 1771. Later voyages. Cook went on 2 more voyages. In 1772, he sailed further south than any other human in history at that time, down towards Antarctica. He also visited Easter Island, that's up near South America, very, very close to Spain. Very close to Peru, just off of South America. In 1776, he tried to sail around the top of North America to Asia. This was called the Northwest Passage. He was unsuccessful. Instead, he sailed to Hawaii. In Hawaii, Cook and his men got along with the local people at first. Then someone stole one of Cook's boats. To get it back, he kidnapped a chief. The local people attacked and Cook was killed. So it's quite sad, but if they didn't have good relationships or communication and something went wrong, like him kidnapping the chief, then the revenge was quite strong. Okay, now we're going to answer those questions. Let's look at the questions over the page. Number 1, where was Captain Cook born? I'm going to tick 1, Australia, England, or New Zealand. Let's go back to the beginning and come back up here, and it says England, so I can tick that one. How old was he when he first became a merchant sailor? Have a look over here, there's a big clue. That's right, if you got that one. Number 3, what was the name of Cook's ship? Check back on your page and you can see his ship was called the Endeavour. Number 4, where was Cook killed? Tick 1. Now that was right at the end down here, we better check. Okay, in Hawaii. Number 5, fill in the missing words in the sentence below. After Tahiti, Cook first visited, then, so I'll give you a little bit of a clue. First he visited and write the whole words down, and then we'll give it the name that they used to call it, NH. See if you can fill it in from over here. We had all the way up the top there. He visited after Tahiti, New Zealand, then New Holland. Let's check your spelling. Did you get it right? N-E-W, Zealand, Z-E-A-L, Zeal, and then New Holland, N-E-W-H-O-L-L-A-N-D. What island did Cook visit in 1772? And that's our key to look for. He sailed further south than any other human in history at that time. He also visited Easter Island. Let's write a full sentence because we've got 2 lines. So in 1772, Cook sailed or visited, sailed to, and we need a capital letter for this place, Easter Island. Now that's not always where it's Easter. I don't know why it was called that. The special name of the local people is called Rapa Nui, Easter Island. And don't forget your full stop. And that's just checking all my questions. Last one, number 7. Why was Cook killed? Now again, we need a few sentences or a sentence. It said someone stole one of Cook's boats. To get it back, he kidnapped a chief. The local people attacked and Cook was killed. So we can say Cook was killed or attacked and killed. Attacked, try to write neatly on the line, and killed by the local people in Hawaii. Check your spelling, capital letters, in Hawaii, when he did what? What would you fill that in there? When he stole or kidnapped a chief. When he kidnapped a chief. It sounds pretty horrible, doesn't it? But back in those days, explorers and sailors would often take local people back to their countries because they hadn't seen those tribes people before. They'd take them back to learn the language or to show them their own countries. But things didn't always go very well. Well done on your reading for Connect. That was for the Appendix and the Bunyips, and the next video will be for the other groups. Well done.